Hey folks, it's your host, Marmalade, and today I want to talk all things Michael Afton, the character many people, myself included, see as one of the protagonists of Scott's original FNAF games. A character that started out cruel and immature, but ultimately ended up growing after suffering heavy consequences for his actions. He's honestly one of my favorite characters in the FNAF franchise. That aside, I've come to the belief that Michael is more special than we give him credit for. The Week Before novel revealed a lot of things, but something not many people have mentioned, myself included, is that it provided a contrast between Michael's experience being a night guard at Freddy's to Ralph's. Poor Ralph went through some crazy things in his week on the night shift. The man had to crawl through the vents, witness the animatronics lose it and start trashing the place, try to stop them from escaping the pizzeria, and even somehow obtained an item in Night 6 that he then carried over to Night 1 after... Wait, what? One recurring theme that I noticed when reading The Week Before is the inevitability of death. Ralph can do everything in his power to leave Freddy's, but he cannot beat it. He cannot survive Five Nights at Freddy's even if he completes his shift. It won't let him leave. Some of the game overs in the book are downright confusing. At one point, Phone Guy is looking at Cam 4B and seeing this exact scene. Freddy, looking up at him, inches away from the door. Ralph acknowledges that if he even looks away to try to close the door, Freddy will get him. He decides to stare at him in the cameras until 6 a.m., praying he doesn't fall asleep or look away by accident. He almost seems to make it before things get weird. Phone Guy describes what seems to be an out-of-body experience, feeling like Freddy is invading his mind itself through the cameras. After this, Ralph's shift ends. He goes home feeling heavier than usual, and mentions hoping his daughter will like the new him. It seems he's become a possessed Freddy Fazbear animatronic. Now, this could be explained by saying Ralph eventually slipped up and Freddy got him, and he just didn't fully process it. But I don't think so. Somehow, Freddy was able to invade his very being. He's not the only one that does this. Being around Chica causes Phone Guy to just know her name is Susie. Golden Freddy basically makes Ralph be unable to think anything other than the words, "it's me," as he consumes his soul or assimilates him or something. I can't figure it out. I still can't wrap my head around that part. My point is, this experience heavily contrasts Michael's, or Mike Schmidt's, week at Freddy's in the original FNAF game. Now, I know it's a game, and the majority of the lore was not even remotely fleshed out in Scott's mind, but it really feels like Michael doesn't have to worry about himself being attacked internally. He survives countless nights being hunted by animatronics, and is able to leave and do it again in a different location multiple times. As long as he physically keeps the animatronics at bay, he's safe from them, aside from the occasional, "it's me." This is what led me to think, maybe Michael Afton is the only character in the franchise that even could survive Five Nights at Freddy's. Michael, as we know, is not normal. After Sister Location, he became sorta undead. I know a lot of people debate over whether you can call him dead or alive, but I always looked at it like Michael was possessing his own body via the remnant injected into him. His body is essentially his animatronic suit, but the others can't affect him as much because he's basically one of them. That's not to say he's exactly safe from them. They're still much, much stronger than him and will still tear him apart if they get their hands on him. But a large amount of their supernatural abilities are ineffective against Michael. Abilities we've hardly seen because we've mainly played as him. Michael's basically using his undeadness as an exploit to make his job easier. He's the only one who could truly battle William and his creations directly. There's something else I want to touch on real quick. There's a theory going around that I call loop theory. Some have theorized the character Oswald in the Into the Pit game may be re-experiencing the events of the story over and over again, and that in reality he's dead and his soul is trapped in the ball pit. I'd argue The Week Before kind of touches on that theme with its New Game Plus route involving taking the secret item back to the beginning of the game and playing again. V.I.P. also had a loop mechanic you could exploit to get infinite Faz tokens. If victims of the monsters Afton created can become trapped in what is essentially a purgatory, then that makes Michael even more special for being resistant to those effects as well. This concept of loops and purgatories is quite common in FNAF. The idea of a happiest day being a never-ending dream has been touched upon in the books and even the movie. This is a whole other video's worth of discussion, but bringing everything back to Michael, if this really is the case, then he truly was the chosen one, at least on the living side of things. I want to hear your thoughts, both on whether you think Michael was able to resist some of the animatronics' abilities, and what you think of this loop theory going around. I read every comment, and I'm literally open to every interpretation, so feel free to share your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching until the end. Bye!